charges he's had. And there doesn't seem to be any way to stop that. These trials, these cases that they're throwing at him, you know, the entirety of his presidency was Russia, and none of that panned out. You know, this idea that he was an asset of Russia, he was installed by the Russian government. You know, none of that worked. You couldn't get him. James Comey, Robert Mueller, all these Mueller, whatever. All these guys, all these special prosecutors, nobody was able to really deliver the goods. So that's where it started. It started that he was an agent of a foreign government who got elected in an election that was manipulated by that government, and he's now in the Oval Office, and he's carrying out the agenda of Vladimir Putin and Russia in America. That's how it started. This is a Manchurian candidate. This is a guy that's in there, and we don't know how this happened. This happened because Russia went on Facebook and made everybody's aunt racist, and then Trump got elected, and now he's doing the bidding of Russia. It was the beginning of it. That was the beginning. And that went on for years, and there was all his cronies and everyone he was around, they're all beholden to Russia and Russian money. And that was the narrative, and there were people that were deeply skeptical of that on the left and the right, by the way. The far left, not the mainstream left. They were with it. And even a lot of the mainstream right kind of went along with it. They were kind of like, well, maybe this is. Now, we finally, it's years later, and what we finally got the guy on is that he paid off a porn star to keep quiet. He paid off a porn star. You know, again, if somebody, is that like a black mark on his character? Isn't that his character? Isn't that Donald Trump's character? Like, what would you think Donald Trump would be doing? If you didn't even know Donald Trump, and a guy who walked by you in a pinstripe suit with golden hair on Fifth Avenue, and someone pointed to you and said, that guy paid off a porn star, you wouldn't even respond with words. You just like take a sip of your coffee and smile, because it's exactly what you think that person would do. I don't think anybody's shocked by that. I don't think anybody's like, now I guess this might have an effect on the election. I don't know. People said it when I was watching Karl Rove, who was George W. Bush's guy. He was his guy. They called him the architect, Karl Rove. And Karl Rove is basically like, a lot of the polls that are out say people will be less likely to vote for Trump if he's convicted. But Karl Rove also said if he's exonerated, he's Teflon. But he was convicted. I don't know if this is going to have a huge impact on the election. I know that he's going to be sentenced. Rarely with this charge would you get prison. I don't know if he's going to get prison. I don't know if they're going to try to make an example out of him. I think if they put him in prison, you're going to be looking at